Back in the day, survival horror often meant Resident Evil and Silent Hill. The former would often branch out its pre-rendered backgrounds and fixed camera angles into other unique properties. We saw how successful that could be with Dino Crisis, but in 2001, the same era of experimentation would produce something altogether different, trading modern-day survival horror for feudal Japan, swordplay, supernatural enemies, and a much greater emphasis on action. That game was Onimusha. Perhaps the best way to describe it is Nioh before Nioh was even a thing. A Sengoku period hack-and-slash action-adventure, but without the Souls-like trappings, and enough potential to challenge the most hardened genre veterans. Where feudal customs and samurai warriors clash with terrifying Genma in spectacularly bloody ways. What's interesting is that Onimusha was originally meant to be Resident Evil with swords. It would begin development on the PlayStation 1, but despite significant progress, it was cancelled in favor of a PlayStation 2 release. Now, the next mainline entry in the series, and its first since 2006, Onimusha Way of the Sword marks a big step forward, moving beyond the warring states into the early Edo period. But where did it all start? How was the legend of the Onimusha first forged? It begins, as it always does, with Oda Nobunaga. Before we move ahead, my apologies in advance for any mispronunciation of Japanese names. So if you know anything about Nobunaga, it's that he's a rebel who didn't conform to the status quo, more for judging others based on merit, which certainly helped when it came time to flex his military expertise. Combined with an ambitious plan to unite all of Japan by any means necessary, it was a period where his ruthlessness shone through. Still, he was charismatic, telling his men to fight and die with honor in the Battle of Okahazama in 1560, where the story begins. But this isn't a game about Nobunaga per se. Our journey actually starts with Samanosuke Akechi overlooking the battle from a cliff above. It's not long before enemy forces ambush him as we cut back and forth with the conflict below. After being informed that his forces have taken Lord Suraga's head, Nobunaga reels his head back in laughter. Another day, another victory, and he's promptly met with an arrow through the neck. Cut back to Samanosuke riding through some fields on horseback while an unknown woman pens something by candlelight. Mysterious green-eyed figures seemingly bound through the space above. We see Samanosuke arrive at the gate of Inabayama Castle, bounding past the guards, but he's too late. One of the figures descends on the woman and escapes. As he views the scene of destruction, Kaide, a kunoichi and his closest ally, arrives. He proclaims that he'll save Princess Yuki, and it's only later we learn that she's his cousin. Another scene shows Nobunaga's army on the march, but they're more than just soldiers without a cause. The man himself is revealed on horseback despite his apparent demise earlier. Following the title drop, we learn that Yuki, part of the Saito clan that Nobunaga opposes, sent a letter to Samanosuke after the opening battle, noting that something was wrong with Inabayama Castle. Maids and servants have gone missing, and she believes it's the work of monsters, who apparently eat them and transport their remains elsewhere. After her brother Yoshitatsu shows no interest, Yuki is forced to turn to Samanosuke. Exiting from the castle, a guard tells Samanosuke and Kaide that the princess may have been taken to the keep. They decide to split up and cover separate paths, and it's not long before he encounters the same green-eyed figures, with Yuki in tow. Despite fighting them off and seemingly saving her, a giant monster wielding an equally massive club arrives and swats him aside like it's nothing.
Flee while you can, you worthless bug!
It takes Yuki away, but Samanosuke is in no condition to pursue and falls unconscious. That is, until Samanosuke comes into possession of the gauntlet. With the Genma now standing directly in his path, the weapon gives him a crucial edge in battle, allowing him to defeat the creatures and seal their souls within. Revived and wielding greater power than before, Samanosuke sets out, defeating more Genma, even as other soldiers fall or retreat. He soon discovers a massive hole inside a cavern and descends before discovering the keep in question. After slicing through even more monstrosities, he catches up with the beast that took Yuki and slays it. Unfortunately, there's no sign of her. Descending even deeper, he meets a scientist, Guildenstern. He's far from friendly though, noting that he hasn't met anyone as foolish since Nobunaga. It's then revealed he resurrected the Great Unifier, who indeed died in the Battle of Okahazama. In return, he made a pact with the Genma to serve them forever. Guildenstern unleashes one of his creations on Samanosuke before escaping, but it's not long before the latter is back in pursuit. As he makes his way through, he encounters someone trying to restrain a young boy who breaks free and escapes. The man introduces himself as Tokichiro Kinoshita, a member of the Oda clan, the same as Nobunaga, who says he'll eventually conquer the world as Toyotomi Hideyoshi. He asks if Samanosuke is interested in serving his clan, and is rejected in turn. After saying he won't give up and that they'll meet again, Tokichiro disappears. Venturing further eventually brings him to some slain enemies and a reunion with Kaide, who's accompanied the boy from earlier. He's revealed to be Yumamaro, and since he's distrustful of Samanosuke, he makes a break for it after refusing to answer his most pressing questions. As Kaide pursues, the search for Yuki resumes, which means even more hacking, slashing, and shooting with arrows at the Genma. Eventually, he reconnects with Kaide again and learns that Yumamaro was the son of a farmer and that his parents were killed during the war years prior. He was subsequently taken in and raised by Yuki. He seemingly broke into the Genma's stronghold to save who he views as an older sister, but they still don't know why Tokichiro attempted to capture him. After obtaining a snazzy armor set and cooperating with Kaide to bypass some deadly traps, they split up once more. Samanosuke later discovers the Blue Book, seemingly written by Guildenstern, where he talks about how Nobunaga wasn't shocked at all to be revived, and that he pledged loyalty to his master Fortinbras immediately. While vowing to sacrifice his own species, Guildenstern is wary of trusting Nobunaga, calling him highly intelligent and ambitious. Samanosuke obtains 2 halves of the Saito clan crest to unlock the way forward and finds a Genma kidnapping Yumamaro. As he tries to pursue, Tokichiro appears once more, asking if he'll serve the Oda clan. When Samanosuke refuses, it's revealed that Yuki's abduction has a more sinister purpose. Since she possesses a noble heart, the Genma plan to sacrifice her, with Nobunaga drinking her blood to gain enough power to decimate the Saito clan. Proclaiming that only the strong survive, Tokichiro escapes, and while he doesn't reveal why they're after Yumamaro, he does tell our hero that it's too late for the boy. Samanosuke eventually manages to find Yumamaro after defeating a powerful Genma, Marcellus. Kaide arrives soon after, and as the boy regains consciousness, he asks him to save Yuki. Samanosuke then tells him about the ways of the world, how he left Japan 4 years prior, meeting all kinds of different people and experiencing so much. There are infinite things that we do not understand. There's beauty and freedom all around us. You owe it to yourself and everyone to see these things, and then share them with the people of this country. Rejecting Tokichiro's claim that only the strong survive, he tells Yumamaro that he must help the people understand the absurdity of fighting over such small portions of land on this tiny island. Suddenly, an unknown woman arrives, claiming that Yuki is underground and falling unconscious. Samanosuke tells Kaide to watch over the two as he goes to save her. He finds the Green Book along the way, which describes the dark ceremony that the Genma planned. It apparently involves taking the sacrifice's blood, having the Genma king prove it, and then the animal, in this case Nobunaga, drinking it from a human skull to receive incredible power. Suffice it to say that even the author is confused about how this works, but since the skull in question will be Yuki's, it's pertinent that Samanosuke saves her. Eventually, he runs into Tokichiro, who manages to incapacitate him with some device. Meanwhile, a Samanosuke clone arrives to knock out Kaide, while the mysterious woman from earlier is revealed to be another Genma, Hekuba, who takes Yumamaro away. Kaide regains consciousness, and now it's her turn to be the hero. She ventures out, fighting off Genma before arriving in a prison where Yuki is being held. While trying to pick the cell's lock, Guildenstern suddenly appears and spirits Yuki away. Confronting a Genma who can turn invisible, Kaide manages to slay it and escapes. Around this time, Samanosuke regains consciousness and encounters his doppelganger, which he defeats in a tense battle. He runs into Hekuba, but before he can save Yumamaro, she transforms into her Genma form and manifests the gate to the Netherworld. She enters after taunting Samanosuke, and neither his blade nor Kaide's kunai can disrupt the stone guarding the entrance. Fortunately, they have a lead, the mysterious hanging man, Minogoro. Encountered throughout the game and offering advice to Samanosuke, he's revealed to be a member of the Mino clan, gatekeepers capable of opening a path forward into the Dark Realm. Upon arriving, Samanosuke is beset by waves of increasingly challenging enemies. Progressing further with each clear, he eventually obtains the Bishamon Ocarina for unsealing the Bishamon sword, which was used to trap Fortinbras within the Netherworld. Working with Kaede, he also obtains the Great Bow and Great Arrow, which can be used to destroy the barrier blocking the Netherworld's gate. Of course, it's not long before he confronts Hecuba again, who reveals the purpose behind the Genma's pursuit of Yumamaro, to slay him in front of Yuki, driving her sorrow to its peak and apparently making her blood that much stronger for Nobunaga. Samanosuke defeats Hecuba, but Kaede ends up injured. After regaining consciousness, she's told to rest, as he sets out to save Yuki and Yumamaro from the Genma. Returning to the Netherworld gate, Samanosuke uses the Great Bow and Great Arrow to destroy the barrier. Upon entering, he runs into Guildenstern once more. Naturally, the latter flees, leaving a stronger Marcellus behind. Samanosuke defeats it and uses the Ocarina to obtain the Bishamon sword. Plunging deeper into the Netherworld, he discovers Yuki and Yumamaro, trapped and unable to escape, and who else should arrive to stop him but the Genma King himself, Fortinbras. Wielding the Bishamon, Samanosuke prevails, while Kaede arrives to help free Yuki and Yumamaro. While they make to escape, Fortinbras suddenly comes back to life and seizes Samanosuke as the entire structure collapses. When all seems lost, the gauntlet activates by absorbing some of his blood, transforming him into the Onimusha. Samanosuke manages to defeat Fortinbras, seemingly slaying him once and for all. However, before he can make it out, he suddenly comes face to face with Nobunaga, who looks down at him from above. Their fate is unknown, at least for now, while the structure collapses. Sometime after, it's revealed that Yuki's brother, Yoshitatsu, passed away, and that Nobunaga's army took Inabayama Castle, crushing the Saito clan in the process. Thankfully, Yuki survived, escaping to Sakai province before departing on a ship. As it turns out, she wanted to see the world just as Samanosuke did, and naturally brought Yumamaro along. Kaede, meanwhile, searches for Samanosuke to no avail, even working for his uncle, Mitsuhide Akechi. Suffice to say that we'll learn more about her fate as the series progresses. As for Samanosuke, despite being told that no one knew of his fate, he's not dead. After the credits, we see him looking at Inabayama Castle from afar before subsequently leaving. Planning for the future? Perhaps remembering Yuki, Kaede, and Yumamaro? Wondering how to get his revenge on Tokichiro and or Guildenstern without either fleeing like cowards? Well, we'll find out the answers later because the next game follows a different warrior, one who also suffered at the hands of Oda Nobunaga. Even if the gauntlet doesn't reappear, the Onimusha will resurface to conquer evil once more. So that's it for part 1. In part 2, we'll be talking about the events of Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny, so stay tuned for that. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.